If you talk about the SRE's impact on the enterprises, so I would say that SRE is a game changer.
Whenever we are dealing with the production environment, we have to make sure that we have a robust system uptime.
Through automation and scalable solution implementation, we make sure like our operational cost is reduced.
It also helps businesses in terms of innovation, in terms of scalability, and most importantly, the availability. SRE is obviously a challenging role, and it involves multiple things that we need to take care of. If there is any alert, there is any issue with the system, you need to have playbooks, you need to have runbooks, you need to have automation in place.
We should have proactive monitoring. If we lack proactive monitoring, or if we even missing a single piece of cube from our whole infrastructure and it is business critical, we are at stake. So we should always prioritize more priority issues rather than wasting time on priority 5, which will have more business impact on our environment.
Is also important is when we have done with our tool identification and compatibility, then we have to educate our internal teams how to utilize that tools. Our CIOs and CTOs should start their SRE journey by defining their clear objectives and aligning their teams and business goals as well.
SRE is very critical for every business which is aiming to stay agile, to stay competitive in the rapidly changing landscape.
Hello everyone, this is Shuja Abdeen working as Software Development Manager for Xgrid Inc. Today I have very exceptional talent available with me on this webinar to discuss about Day2Ops and to have understanding what exactly Day2Ops is all about and what benefits and businesses it brings to the system and to the C-level executive to start considering about it. So I would love to have an introduction with all the panelists. So Saman, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what exactly responsibility do you play when it comes to Day2 operations and maybe SRE as well?
Thank you, Shuja, for giving me this opportunity. I'm Saman Batul. I'm working as a staff DevOps engineer for Xgrid Inc. So being a DevOps engineer for the Day2Ops, my responsibility is making sure my infrastructure is ready for the production and creating automated solutions for SRE team to make sure they drive the production environment smoothly with the proactive communication with other teams.
Thank you, Saman, for a brief introduction. I would jump towards Abid. Abid, as I heard, you have been leading an SRE team at Xgrid. So can you tell me a little bit about your role and responsibilities?
Thanks, Shuja. Hello, everyone. I am Abid Iqbal, and I am working in Xgrid as a senior software engineer. And yeah, rightly said, I am leading a team of talented people. In SRE's side, basically our focus is on ensuring the reliability and smooth operations of our client systems. And we are making sure this by automation, performance monitoring, and effective incident management. We also collaborate with both development and operations teams to create scalable infrastructures and align our technical initiatives with business goals, all with proactively addressing issues and making sure that the system is highly available and with a good customer satisfaction.
Thank you, Abid. Jumping towards Yusuf, being part of production engineering team, how exactly it's supporting the SRE function it's all about?
Hi Shuja, thank you for asking. I am Yusuf and I am working in Xgrid as a senior cloud and DevOps engineer. My primary focus is to facilitate production environment as a production engineer. My day-to-day job role include understanding the whole production environment, their microservices that are running on a production, their interconnectivity, their networking, their database connections, or all of the stuff that are happening in the production. So I have, whenever there is an outage or an incident, I have to go through all of the architectures of the software that are running in the production, identifying the loopholes in our softwares, identifying any missing elements in our productions. So to identify these problems and to notify the relevant teams and stakeholders to take relevant actions for their proactive monitoring or the sustainability and the reliability of our production environment.
Thank you, Yusuf. I'm really excited to have you all today, and I do have a lot of questions to ask and have some clarity how exactly we as business personalities benefit from SRE responsibilities and SRE function as well. So jumping towards Abid for the first question, at a leadership perspective, Abid, can you help me understand what exactly site reliability engineering is all about and how exactly business can benefit from it?
Yeah, so talking about the SRE, so basically SRE applies engineering principles to IT operations, mainly focusing on reliability and automation. And we also speed up the development process by bringing in CI/CD things. It also helps businesses in terms of innovation, in terms of scalability, and most importantly, the availability, which eventually helps in better customer experience.
Yep, thank you, Abid. So you mentioned that it makes sure that system is available and highly available as well when it comes to implementing SRE practices. So Yusuf, can you help me a little bit understand on a broader business objective from medium to large enterprises, how exactly SRE practices help improving the system uptime?
Yes, for the broader business's objective of medium to large enterprises, the first thing we target is the improving the system uptime. Whenever we are dealing with the production environment, we have to make sure that we have a robust system uptime. Like whenever we have an application downtime, we have to make sure that it is up and available in the next second. So we have to implement some strategies to make sure our uptime is improved and optimized. For that, we have to apply proactive monitoring. We have to proactively taking actions on incidents. We have to deep down in the incidents, taking their corrective RCAs and the corrective actions. First, we have short-term corrective actions, and later we have apply long-term corrective actions with the help of development team, or you can say day one teams. We have to make sure that the deployments and rollbacks are properly configured for the reliability of the system uptime. And also we have to make sure that the disaster recovery and backup system is always enabled. So whenever there is an outage, we have another backup of our application running up and running in the production.
Thank you, Yusuf. That completely explains how our uptime is being maintained. So jumping towards Saman, by implementing SRE practices, how we are making sure that our operational cost is being either maintained or being reduced as well, if that's the case, and how exactly is helping us in digital transformation as well.
Thank you, Shuja. So through automation and scalable solution implementation, we make sure like our operational cost is reduced, and it helps us in our digital transformation. And when we have like teams that implement that scalable solution and making sure like there are patch implementation after every release on the production and our environment. And our SRE team help us to build this scalable and solution for operational for reduction the operational cost.
So this tell me that you are hinting towards having multiple runbooks and playbooks that make sure that our automatic remediation is being in place. So that completely have an understanding on that. Abid, can you help me understand what are the key challenges an SRE team faces when it comes to implementing it? How a C-level executive, maybe a CIO or CTO of a company, needs to be ready to face those challenges?
Yeah, so talking about the SRE team, that like the challenges that we face. So yeah, SRE is obviously a challenging role, and it involves multiple things that we need to take care of. So first of all, I would like to talk about the alerts fatigue. So in production systems, we have to make sure that we are getting alerted only when there is an issue with the system. So we need to make sure that we are not getting noisy alerts. We are not avoiding we are not missing any alerts that should be there, and we are making that alerts are actually showing the real behavior of the system. Secondly, I would like to talk about the inefficient response, because if there is any alert, there is any issue with the system, you need to have playbooks, you need to have runbooks, you need to have automation in place to respond to those alerts as soon as possible, because obviously you will be targeting to reduce the downtime. Then it leads towards the environments. If you have multi-cloud environments, if you have multi-accounts environments, that also complicates the situation. So obviously it is a factor that needs to be taken care of as well. And then like there are challenges with speed versus reliability. Obviously companies try to do like more development things to release more advanced features, and then there is the reliability thing, which SRE teams make sure that with the speed of the development, with the speed of the releases, we are making sure the systems are available and reliable as well. And last but not the least, if we talk about the right talent, so for the SRE side, and like you need to have the right set of people who can understand the system efficiency, reliability, availability things, as well as having like good knowledge of the dev side.
Thank you, Abid, for all the detailed explanation when it comes to SRE challenges. So this give me an insight that we are putting some gatekeepers on our production workloads and making sure that nothing is impacting our system, and maybe we are making sure that reliability of the system is kept in check. So Yusuf, can you help me understand how exactly at a higher level these challenges impact business strategy and maybe improve operational efficiency, or maybe support some other digital transformation initiative as well?
Yes, there are several challenges that we face when we have such type of incidents in our production environment. So some of the challenges include longer downtime. Whenever we have, if we have not set a proper monitoring and alerting mechanism, and we don't take proactive actions on that monitoring system, we have longer downtime. And when we have longer downtime, we face service reliability, and there is another factor which include frictions to operation that will be harder to scale our services and operational workload, which also result in the talent shortages that increase pressure on existing team, and they you can say restrict them to work on the future goals of the organization, and they were busy in maintaining the current infra, and they didn't find time to work on the goals and targets for the upcoming future quarters, or you can say. So these are the challenges we face when we don't have such type of system in place.
Yep, thank you, Yusuf. So there have been a lot of the word day two ops being mentioned so many times in the webinar so far. So Saman, can you help us understand the concept of day two ops, what exactly day two ops is all about, and how exactly it is significant in maintaining our cloud infrastructure reliability from maybe a strategic standpoint?
Sure thing. So Shuja, before jumping to the day two ops, we need to first understand what is day zero and day one ops is. Day zero is just planning our requirements and planning the infrastructure deployment. And the day one ops is actually building that infrastructure. And then it comes to the day two ops, and it is quite challenging because here we are managing the infrastructure and maintaining the infrastructure, right? So from a strategic point of view, day two ops is quite critical because we are maintaining a long-term reliability. It involves, when we say long-term reliability, it involves continuous monitoring, performance optimization, scaling, and security, right? And here we have like automation is another key over here. Then incident management is the major core part of the day two ops, where we put system in place and we detect anomalies, and then our team, production engineering team, take care of it, and then SRE team proactively take action on it.
Thank you, Saman, for helping us understand what exactly day two ops is all about. So since we have created a baseline around what exactly day two ops is all about, what exactly the challenge of SRE is all about, so I will go towards Abhay to understand what kind of challenges we face when it comes to reducing noise alert. So maybe there is a term called MTTA, that is mean time to acknowledge, and maybe MTTR, mean time to resolve as well. So how exactly through SRE practices we improve all these mean times?
Thanks, Shuja, for this really good question. So if we talk about the MTTA, MTTR, so basically these are the core terms that we talk about in SRE side, because everything starts from here. So obviously MTTA is mean time to acknowledge. So if you are acknowledging the alerts in time, obviously you will be resolving those things in time. So what it helps is basically it helps you on focus on the critical issues rather than like having your teams burn out because of lots of alerts and noise and noise. Because if you have reduced the noise, you will be getting alerts only if there are any real issues with the system. The second thing is, if you are acknowledging and working on the resolution of those alerts in time, you are making sure that your system is highly available. And moving on to the next thing in this. So if you are like making sure that system is highly available, obviously you are improving the customer experience, you are reducing your downtime, and you are making sure that your operational cost is in control as well. And all of this basically leads to another thing, which is freeing up your teams for more innovation, for more development things. for more strategic work. So your teams are getting less impacted because of the incidents, less impacted because of the noise, and they are focusing more on developing new features for the customers.
Thank you, Abid. This completely inclines with the business goals as well. That team is focusing more on building stuff rather than maintaining it. So having a dedicated team for sure helps that. So I will jump toward Yusuf. Since Abid mentioned that day two ops with SRE always improve system availability and reliability. So how exactly it impacts directly business continuity and performance? What are the elements that help us in having better performance and business impact as well?
All right. So for the better performance and better impact, following are the factors that impact directly on our businesses. Like when the first one is, I always say we should have proactive monitoring. If we lack proactive monitoring, or if we even missing a single piece of cube from our whole infrastructure, and it is business critical, we are at stake. So we should have a proactive monitoring setup in our environments, and side by side we should have also make sure that our automation is robust, our pipelines are robust. Everything that include human intervention should be automated using all of the CI/CD processes and all of the stuff. And the next is incident management. We should have a team dedicated to incident management, where they will go through all of the incidents in our production environment. Most of the time the incidents on our production environment, but we have to make sure that our lower monitoring on our lower environments are also set up, because once we notice the behavior of our application is not as per expected, we can highlight it before going into the production, and we can make sure the fixes are already applied before moving into the production environment, which improves the customer satisfaction and overall the business continuity. And overall, by implementing all of these matrices, we can optimize and you can say improve the overall efficiency of our organization's production environment.
Thank you, Yusuf, for the detailed answer. So I will try to shift the gear a little bit and change the direction of the vehicle as well. So Saman, you have mentioned that by implementing the right practices for the SRE and day two ops, we can optimize our operational cost. So can you help us understand how exactly our cost is being optimized?
Sure. That's a good question, Shuja. I agree to you, we have initial investment to building up the teams and training the people. But ultimately, it add a lot of cost optimization in operational efficiency, building the reliable system reliability, and it will making sure our system is scalable. Other than that, this is from infrastructure perspective. Other than that, it is adding a lot of focus on our core projects, where team is engaged in building the infrastructure and increasing the product quality. That will ultimately impact the organization overall in performance. And if I talk about in terms of long-term benefits, this factor is in the strategic advance of enhanced agility. It reduces the operational cost, and it support in digital transformation as well. So balancing these factors, it helps us to determine the long-term benefit after investing our initial cost on the team building things.
So yeah, thank you, Saman, for the detailed answer. So Abid, we have already established the fact that we are moving from reactive to a proactive infrastructure management or maybe monitoring as well. So can you tell us a little bit more about what exactly SRE play the role in this whole system, and what exactly this shift requires us as well, particularly in day two ops?
So if we talk about the shift from reactive to proactive IT management, obviously it involves a lot of things. So we will discuss a few of those. So basically, SRE shifts IT management from reactive to proactive by continuously monitoring the system, bringing in the automation and making sure that performance metrics are intact. So during day two ops, SRE team defines SLOs, and these SLOs are basically bound with the business requirements, and then each SLO has their own set of SLIs, which basically track the system performance. So this allows the team to detect issues before they cause outages, and it enables the team to work on proactive fixes. And as well as if we talk about the automation, so it basically automating the responses and making sure that we are proactively reacting to the alerts, we are following the runbooks, we are getting the automation pipelines triggered. So it obviously reduces downtime and makes sure that your system is highly available, reliable, and your customers are getting like a very good experience with the software that they are using.
Thank you, Abid, for the explanation. So, Yusuf, can you help us a little bit more to understand how production engineering prevent from system failures and rather than just reacting to them?
Yes, from the production engineering point of view, first we should have proper training set up within our teams, that whenever we have such situations, how to react on them, how to deep dive into the issues, how we can make sure that our production system is up and running. We should educate systems on some frameworks for the investigation. The framework that we use is MELT, that is metrics, events, logs, and traces, to combine all of them to get the real issue behind the incident. And we should also have set up basic monitoring on all our SLOs and SLIs that we are part of our production environment, automate our daily routine tasks, so that we should be focused more on our future goals, and identify and prioritize the issues and incidents. Let's say we have an incident that is of priority 5 and another incident we have of priority 1. So we should always prioritize more priority issues rather than wasting time on priority 5, which will have more business impact on our environment.
Thank you, Yusuf, for the whole explanation. So, Saman, coming towards you, as Yusuf and Abid mentioned, that we will be putting up a lot of proactive monitoring and implementations to make sure that we are, handling downtime before it actually happens. So this tells us there are a lot of tools and technologies that need to be identified at day one. And when it's come to identification of the tools and technology, what kind of challenges do we face when we are transitioning our infrastructure from day one to day two?
Sure. So first major problem is the identification of tools and technology, considering our system architecture and considering the business and customer usage as well. And then after identification, when we identify the tools, then we need to make sure it is compatible with the other tools and technology that are being utilized within our architecture. And the third point that is also important is when we have done with our tool identification and compatibility, then we have to educate our internal teams how to utilize that tools. And once all is done, then we have to make sure we have a strict control and zero trust policy implementation as well, to considering the security and reliability of our architecture.
This really sounds pretty interesting, that we are, putting up zero trust policy towards the whole system. So this tells us there are a lot of governance being maintained as well. So I would try to move towards the closing arguments from each and every guest we have today. So Abid, I would ask about the future of the IT operation and SRE over here. So what kind of evolution you foresee for the SRE impacting the future of IT operations, maybe for small to large businesses or maybe enterprises as well? Can you help us understand that?
So for me, if you talk about the SRE's impact on the enterprises, so I would say that SRE is a game changer. If you look at the benefits you are getting from the SRE, so basically SRE is driving automation. It is making sure your systems are reliable, highly available, and like there are minimum downtimes. So obviously it leads to a better customer experience, and as well as the team like works on proactively data-driven approaches, where we work on scalable and resilient infrastructures. And like with the emergence of AI, we can we can see the options where we can add some data-driven models. We can get our issues detected even before they arrive actually in production. So basically, SRE is very critical for every business which is aiming to stay agile, to stay competitive in the like rapidly changing landscape.
And thank you, Abid. So, Saman, can you help us also understand what are the key steps for C-level executive, maybe CIOs or CTOs, should take to start their journey towards implementing SRE best practices, or maybe starting their transition from day one to day two ops?
Our CIOs and CTOs should start their SR journey by defining their clear objectives and aligning their teams and business goals as well. We can name it as an SLOs. Like when they have established a clear and understandable SLOs, this will help to maintain and manage the reliability. They should invest in advanced monitoring automation tools because this will ultimately enhance the incident management, right? And when we train and align the team with the SRE practices, it will definitely improve their existing processes, and it will reduce the downtime, and it will enhance the system availability and performance as well. So we have to adopt SRE principles and continuous review and refine our processes and get the proper feedback from the team. So these steps will lay a strong foundation and effective SRE and optimize the day to ops.
So I would just like to take the closing argument from Yusuf as well. So Yusuf, can you tell what kind of immediate action should, as a CIO and maybe a CTO of a company, should take to start the journey towards implementing SRE best practices into the system?
So following matrices should be applied as soon as possible in your organization if they are not set already. These matrices include some basic monitoring that should be applied on your production environment as well as on your lower environments. You should be able to define key matrices that are critical to your businesses, which also include mapping on your SLOs and SLIs. Your tasks should be automated. There should be least human intervention in your environments. The deployment should be automated using pipelines. And last but not the least, you should start training your team on the production engineering and SREs, how this domain of SRE can help robust your production environment, and you should be able to prioritize the stuff, identify the common loopholes in your environment, and take remediation actions on them.
And thank you, Yusuf. And I would really like to appreciate every guest that we have today. So thank you, Abid, thank you, Saman, and thank you, Yusuf, for putting up some time to start discussing the words and the buzzword that we have been working and creating around. That is Day 2 Ops and SRE practices all about. So this just for my audience, this is just a start of a series that we will gonna doing around the SRE and Day 2 Ops. So stay put yourself and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get all the latest update around what exactly Xgrid is all up to. So thank you everyone, and thank you for joining the webinar today. Have a nice day.